Hi, this is Bobby. I'm here to talk about how to create an APA-style reference page, an in-text citation, using an article from a peer-reviewed scientific journal, or what is called a periodical. And like my other videos, I'm going to use the reference page citation APA 7 PowerPoint, which is located in Canvas, to describe how to build this citation. So, to build a citation on a reference page using a peer-reviewed scientific journal article or a periodical, you should use the following template. You're going to list every author that contributed to that paper first. Start with each author's last name, followed by their first initial and then their middle initial. And list the authors in the order they appear on the paper or in the article. Remember that you're going to use the and symbol before the last author's name. So you include all of the author's names, starting with the last name, include first initial and middle initial. You're going to include the year of publication. You're going to include the title of the article, which is not italicized like other sources. You're going to include the title of the periodical or the title of the journal, which will be italicized, followed by the volume number, which is also italicized, and then followed by the issue number, which is not italicized. Another strange thing in APA is that there's no space between the volume number and the issue number. The issue number, as you can see, is in parentheses, but that no space in between the volume number and the issue number is intentional and is actually the correct way to do it in APA format. Um, After you've included the title of the periodical, the volume number, and the issue number, you include the pages upon which the article appeared within the journal. Lastly, you include what is called the DOI. So we're going to use this template from the H to the / here. We use this template and then add the DOI to create an active URL. So I'm going to use this article, which is the lead author is Ted Schur. He's tenured biology faculty over at NAU. And this article was published in the journal Nature, which is actually a very prestigious journal. And so the first thing you do is locate the authors. So here are all the authors. And I picked this article specifically because there's a large number of authors. And it seems ridiculous, but what you do is you list every author's last name in your reference page citation and include the names in the order in which they appeared in the paper. So I have Ted Schur's name first, or Schur, and then Edward, and I don't know his middle name. But then I have every other author's name, starting with their last names, followed by their initials. And then notice I use the and symbol before the last author's name. Next, I need to add the year of publication. So I go back to the article. The publication year in journals or periodicals is often at the bottom of the page. So check the bottom of the page. This article was published in 2015. So I add 2015 to my citation. I go back and get the title of the article. It's typically, well, it's always at the top of the article. So I find the title and I add the title into my citation, climate change and the permafrost carbon feedback. And then now I need to add the notice two things about the title. It's not capitalized except for the first word of the title, and it's not italicized in a periodical, which is different than most other forms of citation or most other citations that we've created in this course. And then next we need the title of the periodical, which is Nature. This is often found at the bottom of the page. So I add the word Nature, and notice that Nature is italicized because it's the journal name or the journal title or periodical title. Next I need the volume number. The volume number is often at the bottom of the page, and the volume number for this specific journal or periodical was 520, so I had 520. And next I would add the issue number, but there is no issue number for this specific journal release, and so we leave it blank. So I removed the journal or the issue number. I removed the issue number because there was no issue number for this specific issue of Nature, and so you leave that blank. Remember that the volume number should be italicized. Issue numbers, if you have them, are not italicized. And so next we need the pages. So you look for the first and last page numbers of the article, And so in this case, this article started on page 171 and ended on page 179. So I go back and I add 171 space, and then the little, well, I guess that's, I don't know what that's called, like the minus symbol, and then another space, and then 179 to show the reader that the article appeared on pages 171 through 179. And then next, I go back and find the DOI, and then the DOI is this series of um, numbers, the slash, letters, and more numbers. It's actually the journal name, right? And so I go back and I enter this using this beginning template of the URL, and this will create an active URL that will take you directly to that journal article. Um, and then, so my final citation would look like this. This would be an active URL or active DOI that will take you directly to the journal article. So now, what do we do with this? So I've created a couple of examples. First one is in Word. Remember, so I took this information from this specific journal article, and it says permafrost soils in Arctic systems have accumulated recalcitrant forms of carbon from dead plant and animal material for hundreds to thousands of years. So this information comes from this source. Now, how do I know how many authors to put up in my writing? Well, I've created a document for you that that tells you exactly the number of authors to use. And so, sorry, um, it's actually this using in-text citation document. And so on this document, it shows you how to use the in-text citation for if you have one author in your source, if you have two authors in your source, or if you have three or more authors. And this really should say 3 to 20 authors. But we have three authors, and so when we have three authors, we just need to list the first author's last name and then et al. After the first author, and this means and others. So this literally says, in this case, Sadava and others. And so if I go back to this article published by Shure, or written by Shure, excuse me, I'm going to use Shure's last name. So parentheses, Shure's last name, and then I'm going to write et al. Period, comma, and then the date. Is this from? Oh, sorry, this is from 2015. So, permafrost soils in Arctic ecosystems have accumulated recalcitrant forms of carbon from dead plant and animal material for hundreds to thousands of years. Shure et al. And this literally says Shure's last name and others 2015. Now remember, you need that hanging indent. So in Microsoft Word, highlight the citation, come up to Format, come down to Paragraph, Indentation, Hanging, and in Google Docs, it's the same thing. I just want to make sure I have the right citation. Highlight your entry. Remember, you need the hanging indent. So highlight your citation, come up to Format, Align and Indent, Indentation Options, choose the hanging indent. And now I've used my author and others in my writing. So I've given credit to the authors, and I have a proper reference page with a proper hanging indent. Remember, you can also do this at the in-text citation at the beginning of the sentence. So I could write something like, according to Shure et al. You still need the date in parentheses, and the comma then goes after the 2015. So I could say the same thing, but have it at the beginning of the sentence and use my citation at the beginning of the sentence. According to Shure et al. 2015, permafrost soils in Arctic ecosystems have accumulated blah, 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 right? It's just that the citation is at the beginning of the sentence in this sentence and at the end of the sentence in this sentence. And then here is my reference page entry using that proper hanging indent. Remember to use the other sources that are posted in Canvas, like using in-text citation that I already showed tonight or today, and the templates. So I have templates that are also posted in Canvas They give you the templates for books, YouTube videos, websites with human authors, websites without human authors, and articles and periodicals. I hope this helps. Talk to you soon.